and welcome to a special little episode of Notes from the Cheap Seats. We're going to call this a bit of a tweenie. I don't know if that term relates in American culture where you have that like drink between the going between bars, you have a little tweenie. Anyway, this is a bit like what this episode is going to be about. It's a tweenie between the first and the second episode because we've just had the Oscars. And if you know Pete, as I do, he always has amazing opinions about the Oscars. And I actually haven't watched a lot of the Oscar-nominated films this year. I know, it's so bad.
I think you're going to say you didn't watch the Oscars. Good Lord.
Yeah, no, I didn't either. But I always love hearing what you have to say. And then that will guide me as to which films that I should watch. The only thing I will say is I'm disappointed that our Aussie actress Rose Byrne did not win. And I have not seen that film, but it's definitely on the wish list, and I really want to see that film. But so let's have it, Pete. Let's start with the top, like best picture. What are your thoughts? Like, who do you think you're going to win? Who do you think about?
Yeah, well, hello, I'm Peter Blackburn. So for people who don't know me, but well, why don't we start there with the firstly with that best actress win? I think that Jessie Buckley gave an incredible performance in Hamlet. I think it was unbelievable. I think her and Paul Mescal had incredible chemistry, and what she was able to do with this, this intense performance that goes, full throttle for nearly 2 hours was unbelievable. And yet, I think Rose, like, not just because she's Australian and because I happen to know her, used to know her back in the day, but her performance is unbelievable. Like, what she did was, if I was a voting member of the Academy, and one day, I hope to
One
be,
day.
but no, if I would absolutely have voted for Rose. I think that what she did in that film, and a film that I think deserved a little more attention, although not surprising that it didn't. It is a film not to entertain as much as to, be an experience. Like, it is about, not just postpartum depression. That's the easiest way to kind of link the metaphor to it. But I heard I heard Rose talk about it as it could be any caring position, like what the thanklessness of the caring role, whether it's a child, a sick child, an infant, a sick child, as is kind of most literally portrayed. But it could just be anyone who's a carer for anyone, and the relevance of that. So, it's obviously not going to appeal to a wide audience when you have a 5-minute stretch where a baby is crying and it does not stop.
Wow.
Because it wants to make you feel what it is, not it's not like, it's not editing, it's not life edited into like entertaining bites. It really does put you through the anxiety ringer with this woman who is trying to have, care for a sick child, do her job, run the errands of her life while dealing with a house catastrophe, and she's displaced. It just says, oh my gosh, like, life can change on a dime, and it's awful and awkward and horrible, and she's incredible.
So that kind of description of the movie is what's turned me off watching it, because I can't, like, recent tragedies in my own life, not tragedies, but sad. It's like, oh, I don't want to watch a sad movie. But actually, when I heard Rose being interviewed here in Australia, the interviewer was actually talking about the comedy of it, and that it's a bit, and also some of the quirky is not the right word, like alternative kind of ways they showed. And I was like, oh, so that got me a bit more interested in it, that it's not just this like 2-hour realistic, like it's actually
funny.
a bit indie.
It's funny, and I like when abstraction works, when like, there are moments of symbolism in it that just like keep you, like, they're good they're intelligent choices, and they're emotional choices as well. But we're not quite existing in the world as it is. It is a slightly altered space, so that helps a lot with that. With the relentlessness of it's more a sensory relentlessness than a
that's much more interesting. Would be much more interested in that than like.
And she's so compelling. That's the thing, and that's probably why I would give
better as an actress. Like, so funny, so probably
the reason I would have giving it to her over Jessie was mostly because of the that she it's a one woman show. I mean, it's never a one woman show, obviously.
No.
Conan O'Brien is in it and he's very funny, and there's some
Yeah.
other great um, actors, but it's her the whole time. Like she's in
Yeah.
almost every frame of the film.
Yeah.
Um, whereas Jessie Buckley is, she's working with, it's much more an ensemble in that way,
Right.
and
Yeah.
she's working with some very good actors in that film. But yeah,
Yeah.
I loved Hamnet. And going back to now talking about the best pictures, I would
Yeah.
definitely have Hamnet as my number two
Okay.
for the
Right.
year. Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a
Yeah.
Shakespeare nerd as well, and I'm a massive
Well, that's
Shakespeare
why
nerd.
I haven't watched it. So maybe I'll watch it now
I
because
know
I
it's great.
feel like I just judge it.
No, it's great.
So I'd love it.
It
Okay.
really, yeah, it is, and it doesn't like, yeah. No, look, I understand there are some people I know that are, calling it Oscar bait and all of that. I don't know. Can we just have a little aside about this idea of Oscar bait? Like, I get that there are sometimes marketing strategies
Yes.
that I just think, yeah, these stupid people that put all this time and effort into making a
That want to
good
make a
film,
really good film that
it's
everyone
like,
likes and gives awards to. How dare
right?
they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I don't think anyone's like, certainly not everyone and of the thousands of people that are making a film are making it like because it's an Oscar bait and that term itself is pejorative. It just I don't know. It's like this movie it's so well
Mm.
thought out, it's so beautifully written, it's so well acted, then to be just so
Dismissive.
it's so
Yeah.
reductive to just be like, "Oh, it's an Oscar bait film." It's like, yeah, cool. We all should be so lucky as to make films that are going to be critically acclaimed. Like, it's not like you can. I mean, maybe you can fool people into. I don't know. I get what people are saying, but this isn't that film,
Right.
you know. I get what it's saying when it's more like when it's like The Blind Side or something where
Right.
there's a white savior narrative or something where
Yeah.
there's this
Well,
big.
Titanic, I guess,
Even
perhaps
Titanic,
is.
I don't think Titanic was Oscar bait. I don't think Titanic probably thought that it would be in the conversation. It was
Yeah.
when it was being made, it was being
I
made as
think
a
I see Oscar bait as what those movies where there's a lot of production values, there's a lot of like funding. That's what I would call Oscar bait.
right.
That they're trying
Yeah,
to
see,
like get the big people in.
no, I would say Oscar, but for me, I'd say that like Oscar bait to me is when you go with an idea, like the idea of the film is that it's supposed to be like culturally nourishing or something like that, but in a
Right.
way that's really obvious. There's nothing
Right.
about Hamnet being
The thing about Shakespeare, like it's only nerds like us that like
right.
Shakespeare.
It's
And
just
also the
like
story of Shakespeare as well,
yeah.
who cares about him
Anyway,
as a
it's
person? I mean,
just a
I do.
strange reductive term to me.
Yes. Okay.
But lest this become our not just our twinny but our whole thing.
Yes.
Look, I there was no choice other than One Battle After Another for me this year. I did think that it might go to Sinners, but for me personally, I think that a masterpiece like One Battle After Another comes along so rarely that it is also an entertaining. It is both a film and a movie. I've heard it explained that way,
Right.
which I think is kind of cool. But it is like, yeah, it took me a second watch for me to really truly understand how profound it is. Like, I think it is
Right.
really saying something very precise and prescient about the moment that we are actually in,
Mhm.
and that it's made by probably at least one of the handful of greatest living directors who has never had up until Sunday night had never won an Academy Award and now has three of
Right.
them. Um,
Wow.
that it's, I just think it was, yeah, it was the right time. And I think like Sinners gave a big push at the end. And I love that a genre film
Mhm.
is in that awards, and especially a film by a man of color with
Mhm.
predominantly a cast of color. I just didn't like the film that much. I think it was
Right.
fine. It was beautifully shot. It had some excellent moments. There's some beautiful music sections and stuff like that. I like how it's using music as a way, and even the vampire narrative to talk to cultural taboos
Mhm.
of the Jim Crow South and all of that. I just wasn't as engaged, like for whatever reason.
Right.
Yeah, it was just not for me. Secret Agent, though in the end it didn't really get the get any love. I thought it might have taken the international, but Sentimental Value was also a great film. But
Mm-hmm.
The Secret Agent was my third pick of the year. I thought
Okay.
that was an excellent film. Yeah.
All right. Some for my list. And Michael B. Jordan, he was from Sinners, right? He won the
Hmm.
best actor. And you happy with that? What's your assessment? No.
Really?
Who did you think should have taken that?
I think either Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent or Ethan Hawke in Blue Moon. He was never going to get it
Right.
because it was more piece. And I do think, like, the cultural backlash be damned. I think that Timothy Chalamet did a
Oh, what
fantastic.
was that about? Why are people so up in arms? No one does care about ballet. Who cares though? If you love
Right?
ballet, go watch
Well,
ballet. Love
bless
it.
you.
Like it's
I
never
mean,
been a
yeah,
mainstream like
yeah.
who
It was just
cares what
funny
Timothy
given what we talk.
Chalamet?
Yeah,
I
given what
just
we
don't
talk about on here,
understand. I
yeah, it's
know.
interesting because he
I
was
was so
basically. So I think we've got a lag here. I think what is interesting because what he was saying was, that people don't go and see it. People can't because of the financial
yeah.
impracticality of that, and then to be like cancelled as though he was saying something like, I don't know, something against the people. It's like he was basically saying there is a price. We are priced out of seeing elite kind of things like that. And, he didn't articulate it very well, perhaps, or the cancel mob really
Like
made a
what a
narrative
what a
of that.
thing to be cancelled over though.
It's one of
I
the
was like,
strangest things I've ever seen. Like that.
but the people and the really sensible people that I admire who have come out against him, and I was like,
Just
why?
like,
Why are you
I think
even
it was
giving this
just
air? Like,
the anti,
even if he did
yeah,
say, play an
yeah.
opera sock, who
Yeah,
cares? Like,
the anti Chalamet sentiment is just it's just growing. It's just one of those things. He seems like he's had it good for a long time, and we like to eat
right,
the rich. In this case, eat the
Shyamalan,
celebrity, eat the famous. It's like, and it was his moment. But this was again not the film to have done it on either. He's very good. The film itself is very good.
yeah,
But yeah, no, and just to get back to the I think that Michael B. Jordan is a terrific actor.
yeah,
Again, in the same way that the film itself didn't speak to me, his performance,
right,
it was strong. Don't get me wrong.
yeah,
It's not like I walked away going, oh, anyone
mm,
could have done that. There wasn't any moment in it that I was like, oh my God, now that is acting.
right,
There's a bit of a gimmick to it because he played two characters. Cool. Again, I just there was just there's no part of me that saw an award winning
right,
performance there. This was like, yeah, that was, but yeah, I mean,
yeah,
that's pretty much it. I loved my biggest, like, it was kind of obvious it was going to happen by the end, but I
mm-hmm,
am certainly not at the start of the campaign, which is that Amy Madigan took Best Supporting Actress for Weapons. That really was an incredible horror film. If anyone is
right,
a horror aficionado. It was truly original. It was the screenplay is fantastic. It's so tight. It's so inventive, and her performance. I mean, I rewatched it when you first see it. The
mm,
experience of it is that she kind of dominates the film, and it's like she comes in. I would say like well over halfway through the film. Her character is in,
okay,
and then to completely for that movie to become about her. I mean, she is the villain. I get, and that's
right,
but to be so dominant in a text where she arrives so late is
mm-hmm.
fantastic, and apparently the character is getting her own, movie now, which is fantastic, and
Oh,
she's
good on
so
her.
good in it, and I've always liked Amy Madigan. I like what she stands for in terms of the working actor ethos.
Yeah. Amazing. And just to end this little 20 episode, I thought we could talk about the cinematographer winner, which is the first time won
Mm,
by a woman and then a woman of colour as well.
yes,
Yay, snaps. We're getting there. We're getting there,
yes,
gals. We're getting there.
yeah,
Slowly but surely, knocking
and then
knocking off all the firsts.
And that is one of the things I will say was truly remarkable about Sin is that and the sound, the production values generally were incredible, but yeah, the cinematography is very evocative, and yeah, that was a very deserving
Hmm. Can I ask a question? Is it that you think that this is the first time a woman has won this award because there aren't as many female cinematographers, or have they been ripped off in the past, or a bit of both? Or
It's I don't have the stats with me, obviously, but it
yeah,
is like, it's still a very low ratio of women to men in that particular
Right.
field. Don't know why. I'm sure there would be some specific reasons as well as the
Yeah.
obvious historical reasons for it.
Yeah.
But there's always been kind of women in editing, writing,
Mm.
costuming, set design. But maybe when it was a more, I don't know, maybe because there's this boys, like there's a science as well as an art to it. And back in the day, there was like
Mhm.
this perception that it had to be, I don't know, that, yeah, I don't know,
Might
that
be
there
like
was,
a male gaze thing, that
yeah,
that movies are generally made from that male perspective, and if a female's coming in,
yeah,
then that's a different kind of style of
it's definitely tied to the, like, the historical disproportion of directors who are male as well,
right.
because people want to work, like, for whatever reason, your DP is your extra it's your extra brain, your eye, like you need your cinematographer on set.
Okay.
You need to trust them so much. And so maybe there's just an unconscious bias, which is why I love
Mhm.
that, that Ryan Coogler had has this female eye to
Mm.
bolster and to help, I don't know, like augment his own vision, like because the cinematographer is adding a heck of a lot to it.
Mm.
But I believe I might get this wrong because I usually am good with my Oscar stats, but I believe she was only the second female nominated, and the last person, which
Wow.
was the Mudbound, was also a woman of color. So
Right.
yeah, but I may have that wrong. It's certainly not many because the Mudbound one, which was in about 2017 or 18,
Mhm.
was the first female nominated. That wasn't that long ago, and I can't remember any another female being nominated
Mhm.
since. Yeah, it's a crazy. If anyone would like to have let us know why the more men seem
Yeah.
to be in the world of
Yeah. I mean,
cinematography.
patriarchy, we all know that, but if there, yeah, as you say, like another
Yeah.
even
In other
reason.
fields, it's
Yeah.
not as, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not, if you would think if it was just like an aesthetic thing, then it would be, there would be a male predominance in art direction, set
Mhm.
design, costume design,
Yes.
etc.
Yeah.
But it just seems like the visual effects and
Mhm.
cinematography seem to still be very male dominated.
Mm. Okay. Good. Well, as you could talk about the Oscars forever, and I could listen to you talk about the Oscars forever. I don't know. Maybe we need like a side, like every now and again we do an Oscars like throwback episode
Yeah,
because your stats on it are so interesting. And I think, yeah, talking about it from that like representation point of view too, I think it's always a good kind of cultural artifact to
yes,
really look at, yeah, the changes in representation over the
surely.
years.
Yeah, truly. And I think and that's how I've always, apart from it just being like a cultural touchstone that, like, there's not many things that I'm interested in that seems to connect to the wider world.
Yes.
But for me, it's not so much that I think the Oscars get it right. What would that even mean? Art is
Yeah.
subjective. That, that does create a very specific historical
Yeah.
index of what people are seeing and what tensions there are. And so for me, like viewing the 20th century into the 21st century
Mm.
through the lens of what was deemed high art and what was happening in Hollywood is a useful prism through which to see it. And sometimes they get you to go and watch movies that are truly really interesting if one gets interested in it. So
I reckon we should do a series. Let's do a side series. All the good podcasts have series. We could do a like Oscars
we
through
can
the
do a side
ages
one.
series.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right. Thanks, Pete. We'll leave it there. And I hope you all have a fantastic day. Pete loves talking about the Oscars, so find him on the socials. He'd love. I just know you would love that. People commenting on your posts. Peter Blackburn Studio, right? Is your business Facebook page?
Peter Background Studio, yeah, and my Insta handle as well. Yeah, Peter Background
Yeah.
Studio.
Yeah. Go
Yeah.
check it out. All right. Cheers.